professor here in Marin County.
Which is doing this to people like you. Did you vote for Obama, by the way?
Absolutely. I left my libertarians. I'm one of the leaders from the libertarians here, the progressives in California. And I joined the Democrats and worked very hard to bring Obama into office. And now I'm going to have to ask all my supporters across the nation, and his property could be taken away by this excessive enforcement, then of course we have to shut down. We would never do anything to hurt our landlord. He's been supportive of us this whole time.
Lynette, we thank you very much for being with us today. By the way, I believe you are staying with the network throughout the day. Our own Adam Shapiro is going to be with you shortly. So we'll be seeing you a bit later on the network, and we thanks for you to appear with us on Varney and Company.
Countdown to launch. The medical marijuana
Launch commit.
radio show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared.
The medical marijuana radio show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tune in to that medical marijuana show. 855-MMM radio. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. Keep it legal. Hey. You tune in to that medical marijuana show. 855-MMM radio. Keep it legal. Keep it legal.
Folks, Denise still ain't here. She's still doing the soccer thing, but we are live in Detroit.
Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keepin' you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. Hey. You tune in to that medical marijuana show. 855.
Man, by the skin of our skinny teeth. Take it on the air, get the iPhone thing going, got the whole business on Ustream happening, but just barely every week. Hello, I'm Steve Greene, caregiver, patient, and advocate, mostly journalist. They're journalizing everything for you, trying to record the fare of the day in the medical marijuana field. It's really a pretty day outside of Detroit. I hope you get a chance to get outside and enjoy some of this fresh autumnal air. It's nice to get a good breath of fresh air every once in a while. Incidentally, for people who are watching us on the Ustream, I still got the crazy hands flying every time I talk. I don't know, it's like I developed some kind of a tick, I don't know. Every time I start talking, the hands just start flying. When I think to talk, the hands fly in the air now. Can somebody explain that to me? I don't know what that is. People look at me now because it's really strange, honestly. I had Dennis Alexander in here a couple of weeks ago. I cracked him up because I told him for crying out loud, I'm like Helen Keller on cocaine. The fingers are flying when I talk. Both hands are going. I don't know. It's really strange. So it's been a big week, you guys. Most of the news happening out in, Macomb County. Chesterfield Township. Big Daddies. That's the news of the week. Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff for you. Gonna have Haas on the air today. Haas does T-shirts, prints T-shirts for guys all over the state in the medical marijuana community. If you're in Monroe, or if you're way out Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids or up north in Traverse City, even here in Detroit, everywhere. Flint, Saginaw, go someplace in the state and try and find a place that doesn't have Haas's T-shirts flying around. Haas is going to make some shirts for the Medical Marijuana Radio Show, and we're going to give them away here on the air. Hopefully there'll be some nice ones. Plan on ordering a bunch of those from Haas. He's going to give us some up front, which is really nice of him. We'll have him on in the first segment here, maybe towards the last part of the second segment, actually. Second segment, as it comes up, I'd like to see if we can't get Rick Thompson on the air. In the absence of playing Rick Thompson, I'll tell you what happened out there, that as far as I know. And then we'll also talk about there were some crazy circumstances that happened out there. The police acting in horrible ways. Now, I'm not going to rail against the police on the radio a whole bunch without good reason. I like my police. Only when they're protecting and serving. But when they come looking at you like you're a criminal and you're not, that's when you got to have a problem with them. or when they're starting to act outside of the law themselves. Oh, and there's some bad actors in the police department, just like there are in the medical marijuana group community or anywhere else. Bad actors everywhere. It's like salt and pepper. When you put it on the food, it goes everywhere. It's not just in one little spot. Like one's, oh, that's a little too hot for me. You know, the salt and pepper's everywhere. Quit trying to isolate the beans. So anyways, all this stuff has happened this week. And I'm hoping to get a chance to tell you in a good way, an exciting way, about what this might mean for us. Because we were thinking the Big Daddies thing might have been a bad thing. Do you know about Big Daddies over there in Chesterfield Township? Trying to close them down. Chesterfield Township has been for, like, I don't know, since May of 10, I think. And so there's a lot of, this means this is important. Attorney General Bill Schuette actually entered into that case as a plaintiff. It's not even just one of those crazy amicus briefs where he's like wants to argue some additional points the local prosecutor didn't have or didn't think about and provide some additional state-funded resources. I think it's an unfair play. But he went out there and did it anyways. He didn't even just do that. He went and entered the case as a plaintiff, inserted himself as a complainant. And they're trying to close down Big Daddies there on a public nuisance. I don't think it's going to happen, folks. I hope it doesn't. You know, most judges have level fair heads, but, you know, the longer this sits there, I think, you know, Greasy Schuette, Billy Bong, is going to go out there and try and screw with it. I think he's going to try and influence that judge. I said it there, Bill. You don't play by rules anyways. And you're a crackpot, Bill Schuette. Extreme right-wing crazy man. I'm a little left, but I'm certainly not that far left, like you are right. It's just crazy. And I'll tell you, I'll give you an explanation as to some of the means these police and prosecutors are willing to stoop to put you in jail so they can protect this piece of the pot pie for themselves. Oh, it's just bad, bad, bad. So there's all this stuff. Also, on a lighter note, trying to raise some funds for some people. You know, it'd be nice to raise some funds for this show. It's got to put some more, you know, shows on. So we've started the Medical Marijuana Morning Show. It's just over, not here on 1310. We're just doing it on the stream over at RadioWeedShow.com. It's from 6 to 10. I might end up having to make it 6 to 9 in the morning. And then it rotates all week long. I think it's going to be 6 to 10. We've been doing it 6 to 10. It premiered November 1st. And so there's more of that to come. What it does is it gives us a great opportunity to reach a broader audience every day and build that audience so that when we land here on the radio on the weekend, it's a little more broad. We got all kinds of stuff coming up. Guests, topics, if you want to call, we got a special number, 810-423-2350. And we'll get on your radio here at, RadioWeedShow.com, 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk. Don't go away, folks.
We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The Patient's Place for medical marijuana education and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today. 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti. 734-487-5402. The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org. Hey, you know, I've always believed that one person can make a difference, and Lady of Livingston and the Livingston Area Council Against Spouse Abuse believe that too. They want to help you help end domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. One person can make a difference. You can do it with a Zumba class at Lady of Livingston. Get it for free every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. by donating 6 personal care items or cash to La Casa, the Livingston Area Council Against Spouse Abuse. If you want to find out more, call 810-225-8730.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy...
About 45 seconds.
There is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down. 888-369-3320.
45 seconds from now, we'll go to the rejoin. Rick Thompson's ready.
Free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. All right, I'm going to do this one without any music, because I don't want to distract you with anything. I want you to join us Monday through Friday from 6 until 10 a.m. on RadioWeedShow.com for the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show. The all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show from 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday on RadioWeedShow.com. We've got music, we've got guests, we've got a co-host. Oh, it's not filled yet. Might be a good thing to do. It's the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show, Monday through Fridays from 6 until 10 on RadioWeedShow.com.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Hey, Dennis. Denny, I'm sorry, Denny. Can you take a peek at the stream and make sure that the stream is still working? Mine says off.
I'm watching you right up there and kiss the monitor.
Wow. Mine in here says it's off. It's strange.
You're on.
Are the police in town? Did somebody leave a ghost in the machine? Oh, that was an old 80s joke. Ghost in the machine. Never mind. I'm showing off my age. It's 22 minutes after 12 o'clock. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. You just heard about the Medical Marijuana Morning Show over at RadioWeedShow.com Monday through Friday now. We added that because we need to broaden, get a little bigger, stay here all week. Not here on the radio if you're listening to us on 1310. It's over on the internet at RadioWeedShow.com. Got to promote that. I'd like to see you join us over there. Look, if you don't get a chance to, maybe you hear this show on replay. Maybe you see it on the podcast. Maybe you see it on the Ustream or over on YouTube. I put it everywhere. It's searchable. Google us. But it's important that we have this spot during the week. So if you get a chance, call us during the week. We've got the toll-free number off right now. We're moving it as part of this transfer. So it's really important what's been happening over there in Macomb County, Chesterfield Township. Welcome to the show, Rick Thompson from Big Daddy's. Oh, I don't have the applause thing in here, but if I had it available to me, I'd be playing the applause right now.
In my head, I'm hearing applause, Steve. So it's all good.
I'll give you applause by myself, Rick.
Well, if Dennis is there, he can applaud for me too. Come on.
Denny, come on, Denny.
Right.
So, Rick, tell us. There we go. Hey, Denny's got it down. I keep calling Denny. Oh, good Lord. It's been just crazy this week. Rick, I can't even see the forest for the trees right now because there's so much stuff going on. It's hard to keep track.
And I wish it wasn't that way. I wish that all of our patients had easy lives and access was not a problem, but unfortunately, there's a real big battle going on right now, Steve. And as you've mentioned a couple of times on the Radio Weed Show and also on your weekly program as well, this is a situation that involves far more than just one county, one city, one company. This really is a statewide thing.
It's the whole state, guys.
Yep.
And can you tell us how the impact could be, what this might mean for us, Rick? What's hinging on this decision, and what does that mean for everybody?
For any of the 1310 listeners that may not be clued in as to what we're referring to, Big Daddy's Management Group operates some compaction centers across the state. And in one particular location, Chesterfield Township, which is just a little bit north of Mount Clemens in Macomb County, has tried to sue to close us as a nuisance. And the suit's been going on for about a year, a little over a year. And just recently, the Attorney General joined in the suit on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan.
As a plaintiff?
As a plaintiff. And it's very unusual for them to do this. Typically, they would just file a brief which would explain to the court their opinions and their views and let them know how important it was.
Just trying to support the local prosecutor. Hey, you might have left this out. Hey, here's some resources that you didn't have time to spend on or money to spend on, so we support you that way with these amicus briefs.
They may have a different aspect to it. They constantly cited statewide aspects of this case. So there's lots of reasons for them to file a brief. But for them to actually insert themselves as a plaintiff in this case is very unusual. And it's a civil case. It's not even a criminal case. Now, yesterday in court, Judge Foster happened to mention that he thought that there was a terrible misuse of Michigan State Police resources in the pursuit of a civil investigation. Also questions how...
Well, thank you. Wait a minute. You just said something very important.
Right.
Because if you ever talk to a policeman, let's say you got a landlord-tenant dispute, or you got, you're at a businessman, client dispute. Mm-hmm. And it's just about money, or it's about, property or something. But it involves no crime. It just involves an argument about something. And so they call the cops, and the cops come over and they're like, I want you to arrest this guy, or I want you to do this, or what's the cop going to say, Rick?
They're going to say I can't arrest him because it's a civil issue. It's
That's
not a
right.
issue.
And so what the hell are the state police doing, interfering and investigating on behalf of the state of Michigan in a civil complaint?
Well, and he really was upset because Attorney General's office was able to get the Michigan State Crime Lab forensics expert to come down to testify against us. He said, I can't get you people to come down to testify in criminal cases where there are serious violence involved, and yet you'll come down at the Attorney General's behest for this.
Do you see what's going on here, folks? This is a twisting of our resources against our own populace. I mean, we fund these things with our taxes, and they're turning around and screwing us like a pooch. It's just horrible.
And this is one of the reasons why this case has state implications, because if the Attorney General is successful in his attempt to misuse resources for this personal jihad that he has against medical marijuana, then there's no telling where that's going to stop. And anyone else in the state that might be operating under a method that he hasn't yet proven to be illegal is subject to all kinds of horrible consequences just for existing, even if nothing's been proven yet. So his mobilization of resources against us is atrocious. But the core of the issue here is a nuisance charge. The nuisance charge was filed by Chesterfield Township, which is basically stating that we are operating as an unlawful business. In order to prove that, they have to prove that we're not lawful. This calls into question the distribution model that we use, which is a caregiver-to-patient style system. There are a lot of details to it that I would not care to explain over the radio or over the Internet. But the most important thing is other distribution centers across the state have similar models. Should our model be ruled legal, then those distribution centers will be proved to be correct and valid, and other centers that have previously closed will open right back up again. The Attorney General definitely does not want that. He's spent most of his first year in office as AG trying to shut them down. So his vested interest in this case goes beyond just interfering in a typical case. This really is something that could be a game changer in medical marijuana across the state.
Well, and so, it's just amazing watching this stuff go down in court. And what's even more amazing, Rick, is the tenacity of the medical marijuana community. Did you see the show of force out there? Did you see the protesters against Snyder and against Schuette and against, the sheriff's departments? Wow.
Yeah. We just had a very large person divest himself of millions of dollars from Bank of America as a result of the protests on the Occupy Wall Street, and we feel that once that first guy goes, that there'll be a lot of other ones that fall behind and that say we don't agree with these policies and we will seek our business elsewhere. I think the populace is finally having an opportunity to be heard. It's terrible that we have to rally around bad examples of government. I would much prefer to rally around good examples of government. But
me too, Rick.
In this instance, we have our livelihoods, our lives really at stake, our medication, our well-being, our ability to work within society
our
without
freedom.
having narcotic drugged up all the time. So there's a lot at stake, and we can't back off this fight.
Thank you. Where's the case at? I mean, we're just on pause now. It's going to wait for a couple of months, a bit of time before they have some more hearings and figure this out. But there's been nothing to stop everything's still the status quo remains the same.
No, actually, the great thing about this is, as you mentioned, the status quo does remain the same. Big Daddy still remains open while this is being adjudicated. Here's the great thing that happened yesterday. They planned on being in the court all day long, and the prosecution called, or the plaintiffs called 3 or 4 witnesses that were people, actual innocent patients that had been pulled over after leaving Big Daddy's management group. And they all said basically...
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Now they're pulling patients over after leaving Big Daddy's now?
Oh, it gets better. It gets better, Steve. No, not now. They did that previously as part of their quote-unquote investigation.
Okay. Haas is ready when you want him. What
we're finding out from these patients, first of all, is that the story they told about what happened inside was absolutely the same every single time. Their identification was checked. They were verified. When they applied for a card, their doctor was called, an additional step that most other places don't take, but the Big Daddy's does. There are a lot of different things that they testified to that are proof positive that we operate in a way that's not only in compliance, but above compliance with our safety and our standards. But the second thing we learned was that the prosecutor may have directed the police to pull people over after they left our place just to find evidence against us. And that's an incorrect use of the police force. According to the attorneys, there are some discovery issues here. If the lawsuit is first filed and then they send people out there to get information, you can't do that. You have to have all your information before you file the suit. So if they've improperly utilized the police force in this investigation, then there are ways that would taint the evidence that they've provided. In addition to that, it might taint the entire case.
So you told us about how the tactics they were using on RadioWeedShow.com earlier this week. You kind of told us what was going on there, what they were actually doing as a result of their weak case before the circuit court. Isn't that what this is? They're just trying to strengthen something. They realize that they got some slippery slope. They're falling backwards, and so we need to reinforce it so we're going to send the cops out and pull people over. And if we can't get information by deposition or testimony, we're going to squeeze it out of them by illegally pulling them over or illegally targeting them. This is a civil suit.
Well, that's exactly correct. Every single thing you just said and the outrage in your voice are all perfectly correct and justified, Stephen. And there's another more heinous example as well. We learned on Thursday, that one of the police officers involved was a member of the COMET, which is a combined Oakland and Macomb enforcement team, a narcotics enforcement squad. He was instructed by his superiors to create a false identity, go to a legitimate doctor, lie to that doctor, fake an illness, in order to attain a medical marijuana certification, and then take that certification, file it to get a document, and then utilize that false information in order to gain access to Big Daddy's.
All things that would incidentally be listed as felonies if Rick Jones had his way about passing legislation, don't you think?
All of those things are already listed as crimes under the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. You cannot fraudulently represent yourself to a doctor to obtain a certification. You cannot fraudulently file a certification with the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. You cannot obtain marijuana under false pretenses. Almost everything involved with that is incorrect. Why is it that our society says because the man has a badge, it's okay for him to lie and cheat? Doesn't make any sense. And he did testify under oath. He couldn't get in there any other way, so they had to do it this way because our standards were too tough.
So he couldn't get under the wire. He had to sneak in. He had to find a way in that wasn't where the pathway was open, and the only pathway open is if you got a card, and you can't get a card unless you're a patient. You can't get a patient unless you have a sickness, and you go to a doctor. So he did all those things to deceive everything and then say, oh, look, they're doing something bad in here. No, the guy that was doing something bad is the guy deceiving the man at the door. Look, if you're an underage kid and you present a false ID to get into a bar, what's going to happen? You're going to get arrested. Instead, the bar's going to get slammed.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing, too. One of the persons they pulled over in the vehicle after leaving Big Daddy's, they didn't pull over until midnight. Now, any of you that have been over at Big Daddy's in Chesterfield knows that we close at 7 o'clock. So 5 hours after we were closed, they pulled this guy over. They tow his car. Remarkably, he gets his car given back to him that very same evening. You know as well as I do, when you tow a car at midnight, it doesn't come back unless the police say that they're going to give it back to you. Then they've obviously used leverage against this particular person in order to coerce the testimony out of him, and the attorneys basically pointed that out as well. So at this point, the judge stopped the testimony. He said, we're supposed to go forward with zoning issues and other things today, more of the aspect of the nuisance. He says, but I can't go forward with anything else until we rule on the two issues before us right now. And he says, I need briefs filed and we'll come back and have oral arguments in the middle of December. Now,
there we go, right around, before Christmas.
Right, which means that after the oral arguments, we're not going to get a decision from him until mid-January, because it's at least a 3-week right to do an opinion on something of this nature. This is a significant issue in the state of Michigan, and he's well aware of the ramifications. He's been extremely fair. We're very, very pleased with the judge. When we do things wrong, he tells us. When they do things wrong, he tells them. That's the way it should be.
That's right. Justice should be blind. It shouldn't be tilted or slanted or swayed.
And this particular judge seems to be willing to deliver that. I'm very confident that we'll get a fair ruling and that it will be well explained and it will be based in logic and not in politics.
There you go.
So the issue before us is, do the other counts of this suit even matter if these other two that we've been discussing so far are proven not to be a hold-up? I think what we're trying to do here is determine how well the plaintiffs have framed their argument to determine whether there's even a need to go forward with the rest of it.
Wow.
I think the judge is leaning in our favor.
I hope he does, Rick, for all of our sakes. For the state of Michigan's sake as a whole.
Oh, I agree.
Rick, we're getting ready to come up on break here. I got to run, but hang on. We'll come back if you can hang on through the break. We'll come back with Rick Thompson on the phone. It's the Radio Week Show on Radio 1310 AM.
Your calls next on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320.
The Green Bee Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Green Bee Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Green Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Green Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Green Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
In the 30 seconds it takes to listen to this ad, Go Comedy Improv Theater could have taken you, well, anywhere. A farm, a submarine, a football game, space, a football game in space, a maternity ward, an action movie, Paris, your mom's house.
Hi, honey.
Kwame's new house. You give suggestions, we make stuff up. Go Comedy Improv Theater in Ferndale. Improv and sketch comedy 5 nights a week. Every night, a brand new night. So where do you want to go? Visit gocomedy.net for information on shows, classes, and more.
The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients. All right, I'm going to do this one without any music because I don't want to distract you with anything. I want you to join us Monday through Friday from 6 until 10 a.m. on RadioWeedShow.com for the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show. The all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show from 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday on RadioWeedShow.com. We've got music, we've got guests, we've got a co-host. Oh, it's not filled yet. Might be a good thing to do. It's the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show, Monday through Fridays from 6 until 10 on RadioWeedShow.com.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Oh, and there's some flames burning. There's all kinds of stuff burning. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Steve Greene here, patient caregiver, here with you every week. From noon until 1 o'clock on 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk. Let's get back with Rick Thompson right away. Rick,
there's all kinds of things burning in here? Is that what you're
You know, it's not the purple haze yet. You know, I wait until we get out of the studio for that, if that's got to happen.
I've been to 1310. They wouldn't tolerate that. No way.
You know, pardon me while I burn. I just like the Incubus song. It's kind of badass.
Nice, yes. Burning for you, a little Blue Oyster Cult.
There you go. See, now that's reaching back. Incubus is, the guy's 23. I think the Blue Oyster Cult guys are like, 63.
In the material world, we got a little ghost in the machine. This is happening.
So, go ahead, Rick, and wrap up with what's going on. Where are we at with this? What is this? I felt like we had some loose ends there. Let's wrap it up.
We did. We didn't quite get to the end of the story, but yesterday, how it ended up is the judge refused to hear additional testimony until we discovered the solutions to the two issues in front of us. So all the zoning that was planned is put on hold. We have briefs that are being filed by attorneys, which should be due early December, oral arguments mid-December, and then after that we'll have a decision from the judge on those issues in mid-January. But that doesn't necessarily mean the end of the case, just two aspects of the 5 or 6 aspects of the case. The one thing to remember, too, Steve, is that there were several things done by the plaintiffs that are actionable. In other words, that they can be sued by the patients that were called or even by Big Daddies. So it's possible that we may have our day in court when they're on the defendant side and we're on the plaintiff side.
Oh, that would be nice and refreshing to see, Rick. I hope that day comes real soon.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not intending to be malicious in one bit, but I do expect justice to be equally served for everybody, not based on your choice of medication or your location where you live or your income level. And I think that's the America I signed up for. I'm ready to go for it.
Well, sometimes it's nice to just have the shoe on the other foot just to see how it feels for a minute,
Well, I think it would be an encouragement to other medical marijuana patients across the state who might be considering suing their local municipality for bad deeds if they saw someone else go first. And it would also be a disincentive for those municipalities to do bad actions when they see that there's a financial consequence. And, Steve, as much as I'd love to say that people would respect us just because they know we're sick folks, that's not the case. It has to relate to finances, or unfortunately, we're not going to get the attention of the government. It's just sad, but that's the reality.
That is the truth of the matter. Rick Thompson from Big Daddy's Management Group and 4M Magazine, thank you so much for coming on the radio and helping us out with this information today because, we got to put a microscope on this and see what's going on because it really has an effect and an impact, and unless you're paying attention, boy, it can just smack you upside the head when you're not looking.
That's right, and I got one more thing to say, Steve. Go Michigan State! Yeah!
Yes! You're great at what? Look, Denise isn't here to give the holler for the Amazing Blue, so she'd be putting tape over my mouth right now.
Well, she does that every week. She's there anyway, doesn't she?
Yeah, she tries to. I'm a hard guy to get over. I'll tell you that.
I bet that's true.
Give us some applause for Rick Thompson, Denny. We got some applause? Yes? I don't know. He's probably talking to somebody on the phone. You got any applause? Oh, I'm going to give you some. There we go. Thanks, Rick Thompson. We'll talk to you real soon. We'll be back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show talking to you very soon, okay?
Thanks again.
All right. So now we got to go to Haas. Haas has been patiently waiting on the phone, and look, we got to bow down to Haas because we're not worthy. It's just like, hell yeah. Haas, welcome to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show on 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk. Look, can you? Rick was talking to me during the break. I picked up the phone and yacked with him for a second. He said, ask Haas to tell you the story about how they discriminated against him out there at this protest in front of the circuit court in Macomb County.
Okay, this is what happened. I pulled up, I backed into the stall, got all my shirts out. I looked up at the pole, and it says you can't back into a parking spot. The sheriff called the safety officers down there because they don't have police officers. They're safety officers. And he come along and said it was just fine. That still didn't make the sheriff happy, so he called the state. The state come, and they said they didn't want to get in the middle of it. So then they called the safety officer, and he come and told me if I didn't move, he was going to have me towed.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
That I had to have a venturing permit. So I went over to City Hall to get a venturing permit, and you got to do it online, and they need a 24-hour notice. So I went back to Big Daddy's with my shirts and took care of the patients at his dispensary.
Look, you can't chase him out under false pretenses, guys. The guy's just out there selling shirts. He's not hurting nobody. Why can't he have pass out a couple of shirts at a protest? They didn't need a permit to have the protest out there on the on the sidewalk. Right to peaceably assemble. First Amendment. Hello?
Yes.
So, look, we got protections in the law, and we just got to, nobody's going to stick up and defend our protections in the law unless we do it ourselves. So, Haas, I just wanted to thank you about I want to tell people about how they can get your shirts and how they can help, because, you collect some money from advertisers, and you put some money in some good places and helping good people. And so I can't resist but to reach back and help you, too. How can people get a hold of Haas's T-shirts? Oh, they're awesome. They're far and wide. There's a billion of them. Haas prints silkscreen shirts for the state, the whole state. He's got them everywhere. You see him traveling with bins and bins of T-shirts. I can't believe they would come after this. Haas, what really makes me mad about your situation, can I tell him what you do for a living normally?
Yeah.
Haas is a bounty hunter. And you know what they did with Haas? When the ATF said, oh, no, you can't sign up and have a concealed weapons permit if you've got a valid medical marijuana registry card. So tell them what happened, Haas, when you say, hey, what about this ATF thing? What did the ATF tell you?
I'm not allowed to own a gun, I'm not allowed to sell my guns, and I'm not allowed to purchase any new ammunition.
So what they ordered you to do? What did they tell you had to do?
We put them in a safe and got them in a trailer on somebody else's property.
And so how do you do the bounty hunting now?
Bean bags and pepper spray.
What does that mean for your employment situation?
Zero, because I won't go out there without lead.
And why is that, Haas?
Because they can carry them and I can't. They don't even the odds very well.
You ever had any burning lead in your flesh there, Haas?
Have I been shot before?
Yeah.
Lots. 8.
8 times you've been shot.
Yeah.
And they took your gun away as a bounty hunter. Now, this is a guy who goes out there and protects the guys who couldn't, the guys that the police couldn't get. Haas goes out and finds them. And he does it as a bounty hunter. He collects a bounty for that. But he can't do it now anymore because the feds took his guns away and gave him bean bags and pepper spray for crying out frickin' loud. Oh, it makes me so mad, Haas. That is so anti-American, I can't even explain it. My head just wants to explode when you tell me that.
Now they got catch-22. Now who are they going to use to kick their doors in without a warrant?
That's right. Haas got to come in there and bang the door down because he knows the guy's up in there. He can do that. Once he's located a suspect, he can use all means necessary to put him on the ground and put his hands behind his back and haul him into court. Because that's what the people demand of him.
The words are called produce the habeas corpus.
That's right. We need the body now.
Yep. It sounds like they're trying to prove a point, and no matter what cost to the public it is, they're going to use it to prove a point.
So we didn't get to the part. It's just shameful. It's shameful that our public leaders would act in this way over this subject. It's all about protection of money, guys. Don't take your eye off the prize. This is about a money pie. And you know what?
We have a patient in Grand Rapids. He got prosecuted for 1 bullet. He got 2 years. They found,
what, did they find a .22 bullet laying around or something?
I don't remember the size of the bullet. I just know there was 1 bullet. And they went through the records and found that he purchased the ammunition after he got a medical marijuana card. Because Walmart, Myers, Kmart, any big place has you on film purchasing this stuff because it's the law.
So repeat this part about what his punishment was. What did they do to him?
Well, what I understand, I can't because I don't have the email in front of me.
Okay, allegedly, what do you know happened allegedly?
Yeah, he got raided. They took all his stuff, his computer and his plants, and during the siege, they found a bullet, and they put him on trial, and underneath federal law, it was mandatory 2 years, and out of the post sentence was like a 2 to 5.
Oh, my God.
It was in Grand Rapids, and it was in September when the trial happened.
Wow. Well, I tell you what. You know, we're getting ready to go to break here again. But if you can hang with me through the break, Hoss, I really hope you're not running up your minute phone. hang on through the break, and we'll come back and talk about. I think is that what's happening, Dennis? Denny, are we going to break here?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. I thought we heard some stuff in the background. It might have been a miscue. It's okay, Denny. I've done this myself at the home studio 100 times this week. Yacht's turntable lab stuff was not working for me real well. So, Hoss, hang on. Go ahead.
Tomorrow's Ben Horn's conference in Flint.
Right. Whoa. We'll talk about that after the break, because you can't hear it, but there's music behind us. We're going to hit the commercials. Stay with us, Hoss. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. About 10 minutes left of the show, folks. Hang on with us.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free. 855-MMM Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Ohm of Medicine is a state-of-the-art facility in Ann Arbor where art and passion meet patience and safe quality access. Get to the place that has top-of-the-line security, atmosphere, art, and most importantly, a highly trained and caring, compassionate staff. And the convenience is clear. Ohm of Medicine is easy to get to in downtown Ann Arbor. Private, well-maintained, handicap-accessible restrooms, convenient, secure parking in 2 nearby lots with complimentary validation. The Ohm of Medicine. Log on to omofmedicine.org.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor. The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds. Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition. Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94. The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320.
All right, I'm going to do this one without any music because I don't want to distract you with anything. I want you to join us Monday through Friday from 6 until 10 a.m. on RadioWeedShow.com for the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show. The all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show from 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday on RadioWeedShow.com. We've got music, we've got guests, we've got a co-host. Oh, it's not filled yet. Might be a good thing to do. It's the all-new Medical Marijuana Morning Show, Monday through Fridays from 6 until 10 on RadioWeedShow.com.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Oh, just a couple of minutes left in the show. We got to squeeze a couple of calls in. Let's go back to Hoss on the phone right now. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. It's just about 7 minutes till 1 o'clock. Hoss, you back there?
Yes, sir.
So I didn't want to go ahead and tell us about the Ben thing. You know what? Ben's on the phone anyway, so we'll go to Ben in a second. We'll let Ben talk about this. You tell us about your shirts and how we can find those.
Okay, my number is 989-709-0641. If you invite me, I will show up to your event or your happenings and vendor shirts. Or you can call and I can custom make for your own shop. I'm but I'm strictly in the medical marijuana field right now.
And Haas has Haas has some amazing prices. I'll tell you what, you can't beat them in this whole state for the pricing.
They're $10 most of the time for shirts, unless I got to pay vendoring, then I have to go up to 15. Hoodies are 20, vendoring 25. Long sleeves are the same price as the regular T-shirts. And I also do a program if you've got a store that you buy 12 shirts for me, $102. If something's not selling, you swap it back into something is selling. And every 2 weeks I come out with a new pattern.
There you go. So give them the phone number one more time, Haas, and where can people find your shirts in like grow shops or mom and pop gardening centers and compassion clubs, that kind of thing?
I've got Genesee County saturated, but anybody else that wants them, I will come and set up. It just depends. But right now, the only places that's handling them is Genesee County.
Really? Did you travel all over and do the shirts on all over the state?
Well, I do, but they only buy like maybe 12 of them, and then they call me when they want another 12.
There you go.
A lot of your hydroponic shops can't have them in there,
right?
Because of hydro farms and sunlight.
That's real. Yeah, they got these contracts. They sell stuff across state borders, so they're worried about the feds saying, "Oh, you're propping up an illegal industry and all that kind of crap." So they got to be really cautious about that.
So I work with them, and I do deliver, and as they call me, I show up.
There we go. So we got Haas. Give me your phone number one more time, Haas. Getting a hold of Haas for T-shirts. Haas is a great guy. He helps a lot of people.
989-709-0641, Cheyenne's T-shirt factory.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll get a hold of you and put you on the morning show this week, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks again, Ben. So I didn't want to leave. We got Ben Horner from Michigan Organic Solutions. Ben produces the Michigan Medical Marijuana Report. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
We are having a good time on the radio here today, trying to get people up to speed on getting in touch with their politicians and, the recall petitions and showing people how they're bad acting. Did you see the crap that went down in Macomb County this week? Good Lord.
Yeah, very, very interesting activity in Macomb County. The Big Daddy case, which is a civil suit that Bill Schuette has stepped in on, is, I think, the most flabbergasting and entertaining thing going on in the industry right now.
Oh, remember when I said this a while back, that you let politicians sometimes hang themselves with their own rope. Sometimes when they start talking, Bill Schuette's just painting clown makeup on himself, putting on the big feet, the big funny nose. It's just clownery. I mean, you're really shooting his credibility right in the ass.
Well, yeah, it's painstakingly obvious. You're 100% correct, Steve.
So tell us, Ben, about what's going on with the Vote Green initiative.
Okay, well, so far we've done some regional meetings throughout the state over this last month. We've been to Muskegon, Whiteley, Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Flint, and St. John's, many places in between, Lapeer. And what we've done is we've got some volunteers now that are interested in getting involved in the political process, talking to their state reps, talking to their local politicians, talking to their federal politicians, and getting involved in the democratic process. And, right now we're going to be having a big statewide conference where people from across the state are going to be coming together. Tim Beck's going to be there. Jamie Lowell's going to be there. Tragowski from Tragowski and Grow is going to be there, and we're all going to be coming together.
You just mentioned that John Targowski from Targowski and Grow is going to be a client on the show. He's going to be an advertiser here.
Wow, excellent, very good.
First legal guy we've got on, besides maybe Denise, and Denise just gets her free advertising as a co-host. She deserves it.
Right. Well, excellent, both excellent attorneys, but and that are involved in some very pivotal cases, kind of like the Big Daddy's case, and they're all going to be coming together to talk about what's going on, and we encourage everyone to come. It's free, open to the public, and once again, that's tomorrow from 1 to 4 p.m. At the Holiday Inn Gateway Center in Flint Township. The number to the hotel is 232-5300. That's 810-232-5300. We're hoping that as many people can come out, and hopefully some of your listeners will come out. And so far, this project's been very exciting.
Ben, I'll tell you what, I'm coming out there. I'm coming out there. We're streaming this whole thing live. That's what we're doing. The heck, if the listeners can't make it out there, you know, we got sick people in wheelchairs and stuff. Incidentally, we got about 60 or maybe 90 seconds left in the show. So we got to move along. But really important, you take part of this, get involved with your legislature. You know, recall Bill Schuette, recall Bill Snyder. Find your legislators, engage them. Ben's going to teach you how to do it. It's so important.
Well, not just me. There's going to be a lot of other people. This is really a group effort from a lot of different groups, Normal, ASA. Everyone's coming together on this, Steve.
All right, well, so we're going to be out there in Flint talking to Ben at the Vote Green Initiative tomorrow. We'll have this show looping live the rest of the day. So we wanted you to join us next week. We'll be here next week here on 1310 AM Detroit's Progressive Talk. Thanks for coming on, Ben. Thanks for coming up with us.
Steve, you're the best.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
And we'll hopefully see you next week here on RadioWeedShow.com and on 1310 AM Detroit's Progressive Talk. You'll find us on YouTube. You'll find us at Ustream. We're everywhere, folks. We're getting wider. We'll see you next week.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the show participants only.